allow themselves to give choice to the patients who are not finding Botox working for them or effective or clinically unsatisfactory. That's the issue.
Yeah.
They know that I have the cures. They know they've gotten the information, the documentation. It's simply there. But basically, the medical profession is stuck in a niche. They cannot conceive that this condition, which is mysterious to them and incurable to them in medicine, can be cured
non-invasively.
Naturally. So what I'm telling you to do is change the way you're using your voice, and you're seeing that in the office. You're seeing it with a number of people who have tried Botox. It's not working for them. You can see they want another approach, but they have to learn to change the voice, to put their voice in the face with one variable, nasal resonance.
More than anything, I think even if I'm in a situation where I'm fighting nasal resonance, there are periods where I actually have an incredible amount of resonance, and I know that is the goal. That is the goal more than anything.
Right.
As pitch is a prop, as you've said, but the resonance is absolutely the key to the whole thing.
Right. When you talk at lunch with 5 or 6 or 7 people, does anybody say anything when you use the nasal resonance?
No, they say you sound perfectly normal.
Right.
They say you sound great.
Yeah. What do people say now when you're in the booth doing voiceover?
They say you sound fantastic.
Right. You fought that all the way.
Or, let me just say this, let me preface, they either say it sounds fantastic or they don't say anything. And I would rather actually, the fact that they're not saying anything is great. It's just as good as someone saying you sound fantastic.
This is the voice that you were losing.
It's one of those things that will absolutely blow your mind.
That's the American culture.
It is.
Driving your voice into the lower throat. You have the bass baritone voice that you wanted, which I told you can get if you put the nasal resonance.
And you're right. We actually looked at it in terms of, we looked at it on the voice mirror, looking at the pitch of the voice.
Yeah, in the office.
And we got to low.
You can see the
bass
pitch. Yeah, you're a bass baritone.
Yeah.
Right. I use pitch to get you out, put your voice up into the nasal resonance, right in the face. It's a different feeling. You are typical in fighting the change of voice. It's threatening your identity, who you are, what's going on. Everybody is threatened when you change the voice.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think what I was fascinated by is, when you were saying you can get to the bass baritone, I kept thinking in my head, well, how is he going to get me there? If I'm going here, how do I get there? And once you actually get to the resonance, it literally falls on its own.
It's right in the face.
Completely in the face.
I'm changing the voice from the lower throat to the face.
Right into the face.
And then you can go down to the bass baritone.
Yep, absolutely.
I'm not taking away the American culture, the joy of talking in a bass baritone. I'm a bass baritone.
Yes, you are.
I experienced the downside of using a wrong voice. I got a PhD to find out why I couldn't talk, and I had seen prior to going on to the academic world to get a PhD from UCLA that 12 MDs told me live with it and so forth, ear, nose, and throat doctors, gastroenterologists. One told me I'm dying of cancer because I had this hoarse voice, and he said that's one of the 7 signs of cancer, and he couldn't find it. But I saw 4 speech therapists. They were called therapists then, and they all liked my voice, deep throat like this. And I was exhausted. My voice was failing. So I got into a field to help myself, and then I realized that I could help others, and that's what I did. I served on the staff and faculty at UCLA Medical Center for 8 years under Jack Pressman. It was a wonderful stay. And Pressman only wanted cures, successes. I gave it to him. And the book Curing Hopeless Voices is the story of my odyssey and my findings, and it's free on my website. You can download it free. It's called Curing Hopeless Voices, the Strangled Voice Spasmodic Dysphonia, an alternative to Botox. Yeah.
I was going to say what is really amazing is, unlike a lot of other conditions with a lot of other doctors, is you've lived this.
Yes.
So it's not as though you're telling me. It's not like you're telling me something that you don't already know.
No, I know this condition intimately, and it's not one I would like to live with, and that's why I went on.
Yeah.
I worked for Jack Pressman at the medical center. He insisted I work for him. I wanted to get my PhD. I had an arrangement 2 years and I'm out. And he said, through Elise Hahn, who was the chairman of the speech pathology division at UCLA, that if I don't take the job, she told me if I don't take the job, my chances of getting a PhD is 0 to 0. So when I had the offer to work with Jack Pressman, I said, that's an offer I can't refuse. And it was a wonderful stay with Jack Pressman. He died before his time, and that's when I left UCLA Medical Center.
Right.
The new chairman coming in said everything I had done with Pressman. Pressman had me peer-reviewed in top medical journals, curing unilateral cord paralysis called paralytic dysphonia, and he helped me to get into academic journals and so forth. I broke the code under him, serving with him for 8 years, on problems that might be troublesome and might be difficult for the medical profession. I did it naturally, and he got me into the journals for peer review. In 1980, I peer-reviewed spasmodic dysphonia, cures of it. And it still doesn't mean anything to the medical community. Peer review is nice, but it doesn't change what's going on.
It doesn't change their reaction to to what you're doing.
And the number of ongoing cures doesn't change. You had steam for your voice problem.
Yeah.
I love your laugh.
I tell you,
your laugh is your voice.
That laugh is the voice.
Yeah.
I think the fact that I was told to steam my voice 2, 3, 4 times a day, and I did it for a half hour at a time.
Did the steam?
It's one of those things that will absolutely blow your mind.
No,
steam
because
change
I was
that voice?
No, because I was still using the incorrect voice.
Right, in the lower throat.
So it didn't matter what I was using. Mm-hmm. I was using it wrong.
Yeah. Did hypnosis change your voice?
No, it did not, and neither did acupuncture.
You're typical. There are patients who can give you a whole page or more of their experiences trying to get out of spasmodic dysphonia.
Yeah.
You're on the wrong road. This is not a medical problem. This is not a dystonia. This is not a neurological problem. This is not a chemical balance in the brain. They can't find it. This is not a basal ganglia deficiency. I can go through all their theories.
It's none of those things.
Why can I say that so authoritatively? Because I cannot cure those problems.
No.
And I never would say that I could cure a neurological problem, a medical problem, a basal ganglia problem. It is not those theoretical concepts that are real. And the medical community, their front line is where we go to. They're on the wrong road with this condition. That's why I can cure it all naturally.
Right, and then the sad part is that there are all these people who are following that road.
Yes, because the medical profession is treating them that way.
Right.
And they're not willing to change. But I have 15 cures alone at UCLA Medical Center because I was on the staff and faculty, and I went to these good doctors and asked them to refer. They told me it's hopeless, and then I reported back, here are the cures. So there are more than 15 now, cures of UCLA diagnosed SD cases, medical records. It's an interesting stay. I have a cure of many other cases. David Walsh, thank you for joining with me.
Pleasure, Mort. Thank you.
I'm Mort Cooper. Curing hopeless voices, there's a chance. There is hope. There is light at the end of the tunnel. Thank you for joining with me. Bye-bye.